Alright, we have a pack. Second position. I got 5th place in both. Yeah, I mean, depending on the schedule, I might try to run that crazy line again, but it's such a hectic scheduling line to even try. If you follow the schedule blocks too closely, it doesn't even look like you can do it. Veils on BGA, cool. The new St. Pete GM, who will be unnamed, is a jerk and made my schedule worse, according to insider info. Bad news. Okay. So we can go for crazy stable combos, we could go for day labor stuff, or not even day labor stuff, we could go carrots. But, you know, big house be big house. There's also this fun Hedgekeeper Loppers mini combo. Dung Collector's good. Cord Maker's good. Homekeeper is good, but not for Furnisher.
BRB visiting the hardware store.
Yo, Grumbleguts! Thanks so much for the Prime in the 8 months. There was a time when just seeing Hardware Store would make the Weird Al song pop into my head. We have this silliness. Okay. It still does. I'm at the hardware store. Day labor combo check. Failed. Sad. Big sad. We have a beer table. Whoa, Maddie with the gifted. Thanks so much, dude. Really appreciate that. There's 7 gifteds already? Jeez. People are insane. I'm going... Yes, I'm going. I'm going to the... Can't not pick beer table here. With the 3 good enough green supporters from last pack. Cow Patty's always interesting. Water Lily Pond's fine. I mean, I'd be fine with any of these 4 coming back. We do really need to figure out food. Like, Hardware Store should eventually let guilds happen more easily. Storehouse Keeper's pretty rough when there's this option. Salter or Open Air Farmer is what I'm picking here, I think. Kind of crazy. I could pick Reno Prepper and hope to go big playrooms. Am I gonna second pick Reno Prepper? I should maybe just play Open Air Farmer. Yeah, Big House, Open Air Farmer, Discount Pasture has to be good. Screw Hedgekeeper. I don't even know if Loppers works, and I don't really care. It's probably fine. It does definitely mean I can't be going Stable Tree on the wheel, but I'm not expecting Stable Tree to wheel either. Who knows? Crazy things happen all the time. Sundial is kind of awkward on Furnisher games. Maybe that's underselling how bad it is in Furnisher games. But I think Beer Table works out fine. If this was additional spaces, I'd probably take Salter. Yeah. Weird thought. Oh, wow. Uh-huh, okay. I am very tempted by large pottery, but Oriental Fireplace is too good. I mean, yeah, Haydryer, Oriental Fireplace. This isn't really a decision. I'm glad I get a second miner out of this pack. This is a great set of miners. The lumber pile, obviously, not good for me. Oh, wait a second. That's crazy. I can build 4 stables, then play lumber pile, and then play open air farmer. That's hilarious. I don't think it's that good, at least in that order. Also, Market Crier. There's a chance I play Market Crier this game, if it comes back. Dictator, what's up? How do we justify this forest campaigner on the wheel? We can't have the opportunity to take... Veil of Eternity has really good reviews. Okay, yeah, and it's on BGA. Sure, I'll give it a try. Thanks again for the suggestion, Maddie. Oriental Fireplace contrasts a little with wanting guilds. Also, like, Basket Weaver and Basket Maker's Wife is interesting. Bell Founder is interesting. I think food is maybe figured out. Is it too early to claim that? Yes, it's too early to claim it. Am I going to? Yes. Anyway, Basket Weaver and Large Pottery in the game make Hardware Store possibly a little worse. Also, because I haven't found any day labor combos. Is Basket Maker's Wife just better than Bell Founder with Hardware Store? I don't know. I do not know. Don't know. Is this stupid? It's probably stupid. The chance I might want to just build a clay room and pottery after someone builds large pottery, I think that's enough reasons to pick Basket Maker's Wife over Bell Founder here when they both give you food benefits for Hardware Store uses. I think there's a issue with agricultural fertilizers on plowing, but I guess I'm not in that world. Get a couple sows. Maybe I take ag fertilizers here? I mean, I want to play these early, but I do have extra improvements. So I could take Sheepwell for insurance on being able to use stone late. Woodpile's fine. Nothing really wrong with Scullery either. But I already want early clay for a fireplace and hardware store, so I think I'm taking the ag fertilizers. I am a fan of the wooden shed, but I don't think it quite fits here. Wow, some stuff came back. Someone took Seed Cellar, Corn Scoop, Stable Tree came back. And someone took Hedgekeeper without loppers, that's fine. So what went? Seed Cellar... I'm surprised Cord Maker came back. Really surprised. I don't have extra ways to build stables, so stable tree doesn't seem as exciting. Am I going Chord Maker Loppers? I need a lot of plows. These fields are not plowing themselves this game. And that's disappointing in Draft 10. Do I want Tea House instead? I think I want Tea House instead because Lopper's timing is probably awkward in this hand. Can you furnish the wooden shed? No. It has to be played on major minor. But if you could, it would be a nasty combo. I'm not convinced Tea House is actually something with text on it, but I am convinced that it says wood and stone to 2 points, which, for those of you paying attention, is better than joinery. Correct. So I guess you could angler the wooden shed. Roughly that. I agree, Shadow. Reno Prepper and Cow Patty and Stonehouse Recon. Well, I'm taking Reno Prepper because you can't get me to take any of the other Ox here. The fact that I got Chord Maker back is crazy. I'm not going directly from wood to stone this game, so Stonehouse Recon actually has text on it. It's just that... Alright, I get screwed in Reno queues way too often by my own mistakes that I need to take it. Korth. No one wanted the large pottery? That's wild. I don't have a Reno card. Sorry, an early wood to clay Reno card. But that looks real fun. No, I can't. I really can't. I have stone. But I already get major improvements when I build rooms. Okay. The Surrender Lutenist? True. Alright, we can Chord Maker, or we can, like, Reedstone, like responsible players, I mean, it's pretty responsible to get early grain and prevent other people from playing early Ox. Reedstone's probably better, but I don't know. I've been burned by delaying Chordmaker before. Not like big burned, but when I have a beer table, I probably get burned more relatively. So I'm going to go a little slower on the room here, I think. And maybe even think about some early grain fields. Oh, well, I would plow here if 2 clay got taken, but I think 2 clay's a little too perfect for me. I mean, that said... No, okay, I take 2 clay so that I can play early hardware store. That's what happens. You were ready for me to throw my game to Pioneering Spirit Freemason. What a concept. Yeah, the settings menu has a lot of interesting options that everyone should mess around with and see what they do. Posty getting Reedstone Plow, which is kind of what I wanted to do, but they get to do it from 4th. I'm gonna take 3 wood if I don't get to play Furnisher. I might be feeding off of Basketmaker's Wife really early, and that'll be fine. Late Sheep, so Open Air Farmer isn't gonna really steal anything here. There's the Seed Seller. I wonder if, God, what would that be? Yo, thanks for the chords. Resources over boards made your life better? That's very fair. I don't have a good explanation of why I stick with this option. Baking sheet, okay. Posty, there was a threshing board in this draft. Go Dog Small Scale Farmer looks like it's going to be played in the 4 early wood variety. I'm going 3rd next round. I wanted to play Hardware Store here, but I can't. That's fine. I want to plow. So I'll plow. I don't have cow chips. Sorry, cow patty. Just the normal thing? I don't know if bluffing Homekeeper is useful at all. But by playing Furnisher, I'm definitely ineligible to bluff Field Doctor. I could do the Shadow move where I first action start in round 3. Because I do just get to Hardware Store second, but I think my preferred line is Basketmaker's Wife into start Hardware Store. We'll see if I even get to. Back-to-back players taking clay means I probably don't get start if I wait. There are 4 good actions that aren't start. 3 wood, Reedstone, Cheapock. So I guess those are my 5 good actions. If I play Wife, I think I'm happy with any of the other 4, but if I start with Reedstone and don't get start, I think my game is a lot shadier if I don't get Wife down. I mean, we're getting a little close to Furnish hardware store territory. Which isn't a crime, but it's just slightly unideal. Posty gonna Ock here. Market Crier moment. Day Labor is eventually 4 food, wood, stone. Kind of. I'm not super convinced I get Large Pottery out, to be honest. Mark Crier's incoming. Nope. That is an unexpected Bellfounder. Okay, this is not a 4-wood small scale. This is a 3-wood small scale. That's fascinating. I get to start here into 6 wood. And if not 6 wood, it's still fine. Oh yeah, 2 wood. Thanks, Troll, for the correction. Your cob senses are tingling? That's very funny. I mean, if it's cob, good for Posty, but I don't see how you cob after you play Baking Sheet. That seems kind of ridiculous. There is a bit of wood police, but that's fine. I think I'm just 4-wood hardware store. Of course, that leaves me short on food, which actually means I'm short on reed. Agreed has a very solid opening here by not playing cards besides a start player action. You're salty at the time. That does sound kind of rough. Posty first action, major, minor. Go Dog with a bit of a waiting action here. There is something to be said for taking 2 reed. Because Agreed getting a double build doesn't seem great. On the other hand, it's fine. Hardware store, too much value. Oh, Posty did not bake. Possibly... Ooh, a stable tree on start for a greet. Interesting. What are the chances they're trying to play breeder buyer? Yeah, Posty's just gonna Bellfound the clay, I assume. Barrow pusher, wow. This is maybe not the order I would choose to do all this. Go Dog Wood Police or no Wood Police? Or Reed Police? It's a good start from a greet. This is just slow for Posty, though. Yay, Wood Police. Am I getting Reno Prepper out early this game? I might. I did think about eating the grain. Not very long, but I did. Early grow. Yay. Kind of. I mean, a greet should take 3 read and try to double build next round. Yo, Brandon, thanks so much for the Prime and the incredible 33 months. Thanks so much. I think this is a pretty rough move for a greet, unless they want the sheep really badly, and they might. They could build 2 stables here very reasonably. That is the only reason I can see to do this. Or 3, so you can play lumber pile. That also makes a lot of sense. Yeah, their special food maybe is worth doing this. I would still take 3 read in their position because it doesn't look like anyone else, if they take 3 read, can build before them next round because they're currently start. But maybe they sense a start player coming or don't want to risk it. That would make sense too. 3 stables indicated lumber pile, but now it's not looking like it. Any chance that they have the 1 point per improvement if this is your first Ak? I don't think so. But I would have ignored that card if it was in the draft. If you build first action rooms, then play Royalwood. I don't remember the text of Royalwood closely enough, sorry. But maybe it implies that. Oh, yeah, Shadow. Also, warning that I do not like backseating. And mentioning things I haven't brought up, unfortunately, counts. Royalwood's at the end of the action? Okay, that'll do it then. 9 point Prodigy? That's insane. 9 improvements before their first dock is crazy. It looks like I got 3 read here, because Go Dog delaying grow would be really weird. Agreed does settle on 3 stables. I don't think the position of the 3 stables means much, but they do seem to at least be trying to make it look realistic, which is funny. Three read here is amazing for me. No, there's a stew in the game! No! I am aware that beer table is going to be very awkward to get down at some point, but I'll make it happen. Agreed. Delaying the sheep grab. That's going to be a pretty good special food. I think I'm getting close to just waiting to double build, which is fine. I think with Godog being slow on read... Well, I hope Godog doesn't day labor here, but they just might. Posty is starting. Fun. This is a lot of improvements to play before even setting up your grain fields, though. I think Plow is way better for Posty here. I assume, for now, that Posty just doesn't have enough experience running big baking combos, because you cannot do it with this amount of grain. This is nowhere near enough grain. It does look like Godog is getting the sheep, yep. Unless Posty first actions the woodshed, which I suppose is possible. I think my draft was pretty good. Furniture Hardware Store is obviously a great start. Isn't Posty rated like 600? I don't think so. In Great Western. Which is definitely a great accomplishment, and I knew Posty was very experienced with Great Western. But yeah, not Agricola. First action start. Yeah, this is just like way too many improvements before growing. Oh, Steam Plow. Fun. The sourdough start makes no sense in my opinion. I don't think Posty's been higher than 300 or 400. I mean, they might have been up to 400, but... My next move is 6 clay or Reno Prepper, unless Agreed Reedstone's here. They can Reno well, that's fine with me. Spend all the stone in the game on things that aren't guilds. I mean, it looks to me like Posty is steam plowing. No, Brindlin, I don't. Alright, my food looks sketchy right now. That will fix itself. A Twibble for Agreed. Oh, they're growing. What am I talking about? Reno well. Well, they could Reno well next round if, yeah, whatever. One day you'll get a streamer. Don't count on it. Usually streamers are pretty internet savvy individuals. Like, I'd like to think I'm way too savvy of an internet individual to fall for that. One day, Clueless. Sean intentionally falling for it. What a champ. Go Dogs, last action here. Could be Reedstone, could be Day Labor, could be Wood Police. Bible Thump. We have Retail Dealer. Okay. Good card. A little surprising that they would play Small Scale Farmer for 2 wood instead. Yeah, Posty's just gonna get totally wrecked by... Oh, wait. I have to single build, don't I? Because I get to grow this round. And Storehouse Keeper. Wombo combo. How do I want to do this? I don't think that works. I don't think I can justify skipping... grow this round. Yeah, this is okay. I didn't see a line. There definitely could have been a line. But again, I didn't see it. I mean, my game is in very good shape here. Now, I also left myself with no playable miner. And that's not ideal. But it's early grow. I have Reno Prepper. I should get to 5 rooms. No, I couldn't, Vane, because large pottery costs a stone. Yeah. So I briefly considered the take day labor first. But I don't think that's as good. It does seem like I'm just getting build next round anyway. With a move available before building, possibly. Well, the move has to be read. Anyway, my game's fine. My game is totally fine. I think it is a significant mistake for Godog and Agreed to be focusing on things besides getting their next room in early grow when they have grown early. That is absolutely something you should generally try to do to kick your opponents. Yeah, I could eat 2 raw grain for beer table. That sounds like a really bad idea to me. What is Agreed doing besides Reno Well? That is room parts. Well, that's the thing I said they should do. And it's not Reno Joinery. So I need to get 3 read first action. The good news is I think I am getting 3 read first action. Because Godog set up a double resource market button. I could eat 1 read, 1 grain. That would be a lot safer. We'll go with the safe play. Well, I guess this doesn't even defend me against... Yeah, never mind, I'm not doing this. Agreed can just build if they want to. So yeah, we were 1 stone short of double building. That would have been really cool. Alright, the Reed Greed pays off again. Wait, I still don't have... Oh no, I can furnish fireplace. But then I'm growing with nothing again. It's fine. If only we had Stone Carver and the joinery. The dream is to turn hardware store into a 10 food action. Wow, Agreed took Reedstone. That's wild. And we're getting Wealthy Manned? Uh-huh. We're getting Wealthy Manned. Anyone else very scared? What? No? Fellfounder, Storehouse Keeper. Isn't that what I tried in stupid MSO Final? And just let Sean win? Oh, I'm totally growing with a miner. What am I talking about? I'm insane. Furnisher is so good. Furnisher is just so freaking good. There's the well. It's not on Reno, which is a little weird because taking 4 clay and then Reno well looks really good, but I mean, I'm just going to assume I forgot about the if this is your first dock card, because I can't come up with enough other explanations for why Agreed would take this line. We'll get more clay, CW, don't worry. We will get more clay. Also, let's see if let's see if Agreed greeds sheep again. Because I will absolutely take Oriental Fireplace sheep. Maybe they drafted Bad Ox. Nobody thinks they're drafting Bad Ox. Brindlin, you just can straight up ignore CW Gordon 7. There is some good content coming out of that chat, but most of the time it is more trolly. Go Dog sowing a wood. That is a legal action. I mean, you could argue that right now CW is doing the counter-trolling. Alright, we're gonna have 4 actions. Feeding looks a little rough, but we do have 3 grain and an edible clay and an edible reed. And there may or may not be 6 clay, 3 stone on the board. I'm gonna put the chances at sowing for me at approximately 0%. Because Posty is gonna steam it up here and then sow. Because Wealthy Man needs it or something. There's the Reno. I have opened up cheap, expensive fireplace again, so I'm assuming it's that. Well, instead of 6 clay, 3 stone, I'm taking a sheep and 6 food. That also seems fine. I mean, yeah, there is a reason, Esoteric, that CW is rated 700. Oh, it's that Carrot Museum! Right. Unfortunately, I can't even, like, use ag fertilizers, because I don't have a pasture. Which is something I could try to solve this round. Oh, I was never getting the sheep? That's fine. Chat is getting too rowdy right now. I will take this clay. Secret 12 food action. I'm not really expecting to get 3 stone, but I still could. And I didn't think I was getting 6 clay. CW plays exclusively with 3 CW Gordon alts. There are some conspiracy theories in this chat room right now. Alright, Posty has an action before sowing, and possibly 2. We might see 2 grain here, but that would be continuing to ignore grow. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, no one's ever seen CW in any way. Certainly not on twitch.tv/CWGordon7. So CW could just be an alter ego. I just have an assistant next to me typing in chat, doing CW things, being a super loyal subscriber. With feet? You think I would do that? I don't have any animals. I guess my first animal will be CW Gordon 7 alt number 2. Oh no, there's no 7. Interesting, Norden, you didn't put 7 in the name. Alright, Go Dog takes the 3 stone. I can just day labor or plow. I mean, so is already taken. Does Posty have tea time? Is there a tea time in this draft? That would be so cool if there was. I think I might die if I don't get large pottery down, though, so... Oh my god, we're getting Market Crier. Also, that is a first Oct that is not Prodigy. So, there we go. There is some grain in this draft, it turns out. You should do a tier list because mine's embarrassing. Do it, CW. All I will really ever claim about my tier lists is that the sum of squared errors compared to a power list is probably the least out of anyone who does tier lists. This is not really a viable game plan. Like, there's a lot of fun and funny stuff happening here. But also, it's just extremely inefficient. Oh my god, I'm playing large pottery. It was an expensive reno, true. I think I'm just taking wood here. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't quite have enough food to play open air farmer, but I did look at it. Two major minor combo cards is hot. I agree. Must be frustrating to put 6 hours into a tier list and then have my fans tear it apart. Look, I know my fans' motivations for wanting the tier list. That's all they actually want to do is tear it apart. Also, I'm vaguely entertained by the fact Posty said, "Pass me the goods" in chat, and then proceeds to do this game plan. Yeah, I'm not loving my bad room tempo here. But it's probably for the better that I'm just doing other things. at this point in the game. Hey, what's up, Alex? Aw, sorry to hear that. It happens to all of us, though, if that's any consolation. Posty takes 2 fields. Wood is insane right now. Actually, this open air farmer is great this round. No, I can go open air farmer and hay dryer. No, I'm totally doing that. I don't actually want the pair of pigs because of how difficult it is to hold all of them when I can't eat them. That is a good point, KLJ. Memories. This one's going okay. It's early grow, and even though I built third, this is a lie. That's absolutely a lie. What's it gonna let me do? Bug testing? Thank you. Between Lumen CW, Sean, and Average Joe, there's a lot of Agricola content. Very true. I couldn't have built a 7th fence. I should have tested. But by the way the card is worded, this says 1 pasture to build a pasture covering 2 farmyard spaces. I guess it doesn't say only a pasture with 2 farmyard spaces. Wait, no, I tested that, right? I tried to build 10. Yeah, CW, we thought that was likely to happen, but then it didn't happen because someone got allured by Steam Plow. An easy mistake. Okay. Go Dog just built Stone Oven. Extremely fair. They probably want Reedstone into Sow next round, and I'm late again. I feel a very stupid action incoming. I really need to be talked off of this Sow 1 grain bake 4 line. That is so dumb. The variation of it that actually works is start ag fertilizers for plow. and then raw eat to play beer table, it's a little gross. And I have regrets. Alright, I think I'm just gonna try to do better things overall. Screw this beer table. I'll play it for like 4 or something. It'll be fine. Oh yeah, I'm aware that Ag Fertilizers has issues with plows. But thank you. Alright, doing good stuff does include taking 2 cows here. And risking not getting plow and other stuff. Farm alarm in the background, that's for sure. Agricola police finally coming after someone having no rooms in an early grow game. That's what I was hoping would happen. These 2 need plows less. I have looked at the build grow this round lines, and I don't like them quite enough. It's possible I should like them more. But hay dryer and fencing is just really good too. Also, I can hit Ag Fertilizers 2 more times this game, once on fencing and once on room stable. I can't build 2 stables, because reasons, but I definitely can build 1. On the other hand, single stable probably wants to be in a 1x1 if I'm fencing 13. Or just, even if I'm fencing 12, that's also true. Decisions. Yes. Start player for the team, baby. Fifth room's going here. That way my plows can fill these spaces easier in case I do decide to go 12. Building a room here locks out these 2 spaces potentially. All of that is not super likely to matter, but I'm mentioning it anyway. Fence before hay dryer. I'd be a little surprised if Go Dog fenced here, but not that surprised. Saying yay at last in chat that they finally get to proc their stuff. Alright, do I want 12 or 13? think I'm just taking 13. Haydryer costing a little bit is not a big deal when I'm Oriental Fireplacing the cows for 5. We did not see Stu in the draft. Got wrecked. There are more markets being cried. This is not the best beer table, but I also didn't expect Market Crier to come in 3 times when I decided to delay beer table. On the other hand, we got Hardware Store out so early. Things have been fine. I am gonna Chord Maker for veg. Oh no. I can still afford it, right? I can still afford it. I will eat some number of raw grain and not care. I don't think I want to eat a reed. So that means I'm eating 4 raw grain. And we are definitely trying to grow this round. I mean, if that's the case, you could argue I should try to not even... Or I should just eat all the raw grain, but I'm doing it this way. Currently on pace for 7 cows, so I can definitely eat at least 1. Urgent flips. Haydryer nets 9 food because I'm on 3 pastures. It's a real shame. Wow, the stacks are big. So yeah, I want... everything. Changeover the Cherry Orchard? That's funny. And Changeover also doesn't proc Cherry Orchard because Cherry Orchard needs you to harvest the last wood instead of just pull it off. Awkward. Five, what? Maybe you're talking about the exact time that I played Haydryer? Maybe. 9 food per harvest. Yeah, unfortunate for Godog. That's a cute idea to change over the last wood. Alright, I think this is just 6 clay. 2 pigs is definitely okay. 4 wood is fine, but what I'm actually thinking is 6 clay, day labor, furnish beer table, grow stonehouse recon. Yeah, definitely not the world's best beer table played this way. But it is still a beer table. Hopefully I don't have to raw eat 1 or like 3 grain here instead of 2. And maybe I will cord maker grain instead of veg. Hope my 5th family member appreciates the 14 food room they live in. True. My family members are very spoiled. Let's see if Godog reedstones or plows here. I guess there's an outside shot of 5 clay. Pretty outside shot. Start player is also possible. 2 wood is also possible. If they try to get too perfect about fences. Oh no, they're fencing right now. That's what I didn't notice. They're deciding to fence right now. Kids are expensive. That's what I've heard. Basket Weaver! It exists. Posty is doing skip bake. Yeah, Posty just has way too much food. I mean, they do have way too much grain, so they're actually doing a good job of not wasting their grain. Unlike me, who has now eaten 6 raw grain. And it's not round 14. Honestly, I forgot I was getting 2 stone for the room. Pretty handy. We are getting cried again. Wonderful. Perfect. For one last carrot proc, This has been a 6-wood carrot museum. It's going to be a 6-wood carrot museum at the expense of giving 4 grain to everyone. Wow, and Agreed didn't take Reed Bank. I guess that's fine. Am I getting Cultivation? Cultivation would be pretty chill. I think I'm taking Farmland if Cultivation gets taken by GoDog. But GoDog can probably afford... Why are you baking? Oh, because you're not worrying about the stage 6 wealthy man yet? Maybe. Market Crier did do that. It has been 3 food and a grain for me. Posty continues to plow. I mean, each plow is like 2 points and a food. But costing you precious fence tempo. Yeah, this is just an insane game plan from Posty, and not in the enough points to win style of insane. But if they wanted to do something ridiculous for fun, absolutely have to support people doing stuff for fun. Posty could have absolutely used a field doctor. Uprooter, don't make me puke. Okay, we do have to make sure we don't lose. Though I don't really know who I'm losing to at this point. Are we playing all of our cards this game? Possibly. Oh, the wool grower has capacity. I forgot. There's 3 points and a food sitting right here. Oh, GoDog's starting for the team again. Okay, that makes sense. Plow Bake is really good. Plow or Clay? Clay is actually better. Agreed is taking the cows. Right? Your age is late. I don't know what it really refers to, besides multiple things. It could be the followers, but I thought that might have been Lumen Nation or Illumination. I think I would have guessed it's more the conspiracy that people just let me win more than they should. You'd like to propose we be the Lumen. How have I not heard that one before? Also, I have an answer for who we could possibly be losing to, and it's Agreed. But they have no fields. The conspiracy where I'm up against paid actors every game, yeah. There is that to contend with. Okay, also... What's my plan to Reno and not starve? Day labor. I mean, I have beer table points coming in. Oh. Oh. I forgot about that. Have I been a little too casual? No, I have. I took the 2 cows early. It's just that no one else fenced. The 5 reed is definitely something I'm interested in. I should just be winning by a lot. Posty letting the wood pile up. I was kind of looking at joinery. I think mathematically there's no world where you wouldn't do large pottery first, so you eat maximum large pottery up to a breakpoint, and then you count the rest for pottery. Unless there's drudgery reeve, in which case you declare in the interface how many sets of things you assign to drudgery reeve, then it takes away from the rest for your guilds. How is a Greet feeding? Reed grain? Reed grain? Dung isn't free. I guess it's reed grain. Oh no, reed grain beer. I'm giving them a food. Also giving a food to Posty. Go Dog on a long think here. Not really... I haven't been thinking what their options are. First pick Animal Reeve, surely. I assume it's veg? No, they're cherry orcharding. Then Plauso Bake, so they're going to be fed. I think a veg might still be a point for them. I guess that's not really what you chase in this situation. Are they considering going for double Reno? They might get it. Also, Posty has guaranteed a 28 action game. That's exciting. Renoing now makes sense. Next round it would have been... They would have been able to buy joinery, but they're just going to upgrade. Nothing Laser Trip, and that's one of the problems with their game plan. Is that like, you're creating this extra food ideally to, like, feed your family. And that's not what's happening. Okay, so I just eat 2 cows. Garden designer's out. I mean, it wouldn't even be the best garden designer. I can definitely eat more reed than this. Throwing away a point for 10 food I will just do right now. It's fine. Did I miscount? I might have miscounted. I'll be fine either way. I don't see how Agreed gets to, like, high 40s. And I'm already there. Would they get to 18? Maybe they would get to 18. 1, 2, 3... Well, it depends if they go for this wealthy man or not. For this hypothetical garden designer. I guess garden designer just wouldn't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they could 18 points for 42 food. I guess, yeah. I guess having some non-empties is not a big deal. Garden designer would make this line actually start to make sense. But a couple of these fields at the cost of 2 wood is completely destroying their fencing, which is destroying, like, their animal points to an unnecessary degree. The wool grower is helpful. It is pretty wild, but I'm a notorious never starter. Two pigs over 6 wood here. Though I'm tempted to try to wheel the pigs. I really don't need to. Go Dog only baking 1, which I think is correct. They have an extra pig and a hearth. Yeah, 6 wood is what I would do if the game was closer. But I think I can coast now. I'm not sure I'll use Stonehouse Recon. I might just run it normally because I want an improvement anyway, and possibly 2 improvements. No, Lutenist! Last field cost me a 6th room. It did. It sure did. Excellent timing, CW. What's better is I know you had that typed out, cut, and ready to paste back immediately after Greet took traveling this round. I have conspiracies too. If I didn't prove that well enough already. If this isn't 6 wood from Posty, I guess it could be Grow. I guess, no, Fences is still better. Or 6 wood is still better than Grow. 6 wood is 4 points. Assuming Go Dog isn't fencing, which maybe is a little risky. But it is going to be that. Posty committing to the 2 people all game strat and is going to get fence blocked. Oof. When I asked, how do I not win this game, this might be the only way. What way is that? Agree getting free urgent last move? Oh, you're... Missing out on the Lutenist proc? Yes, these are all technically answers. Thank you for your contributions to chat, everyone. Agreed is plowing to 43, breeding to 45. Growing to 48. I have Reno all set to go. Beer table is only 1 point for me right now. But that's fine. Go Dog is in a think here. Goes for stone. Okay, so I do have to decide... Well, it isn't that much of a decision. I Reno Pottery. Because Go Dog can't get anything from Ren Fence. Or do I not care? No, I care. Pottery's a little better than Tea House. 6, 10... I love that this already was used by me. I bought it used. I like the chaos in chat, I just have to act like I disapprove. I'm just gonna say I'm happy enough y'all are entertained. Posty just not building a 4th stable, because it is actually better to Steam Plow, that is funny. That is really funny. This is technically a game of Agricola played by Posty. I mean, definitely some experimental stuff going on. And we thank Posty for engaging in the science, but this was, I think, somewhat clearly not the best time to engage in science. Thanks, Esoteric. For food, I'm on the 1 cow and however many reed I need to eat. Oh, you know what's better than this line? Getting tea house out. Right? Wait, this is 2 moves for 3 points, and that is... Oh no, I have 2 moves for 3 points the other way too. This is slightly better food-wise. I'm just gonna do it. I don't care. They're the same. Did Posty hit the 10 Bell Founder challenge? Negator. This was pretty good hardware store stuff indeed. We're getting to 61, I think. Can even keep the 5th cow for no reason. I'm going to give everyone a food. It does not matter in the slightest. Even bad beer table is good. Posty saving food for next game. Incredible tempo going into next game. 27 food plus your starting food? That's insane. They didn't account for the beer table. Saving it for when Garden Designer's unbanned. Surely. Would an Ock that let you start with 27 food be broken? I mean, that's 5 points better than Old Hiker, or Old Miser. Old Miser's already good. Do you want it to come with 5 points? And better tempo on foods 5 through 20. Garden Designer is super duper banned. No way this is the right animal arrangement. Unlucky. My points were double counting. My points were not 61. That is funny and something to look out for in the future if it's ever a close game. This was not a close game. Yay, Furnisher. And Big House and Early Grow. We thank Vincent for the round flips and the Furnisher hardware store. Decent game. You were skeptical for a bit there. I mean, I'm surprised that at your insane level of play, CW, you'd have a hard time projecting a win by 10 for me. The bonus points on Pottery and Large double count in the temporary scoring, live scoring. Alright, well, that's draft 10 for you. Just build Big House because there are enough resources, and a third of the time it's really easy. But yeah, a combined 2 rooms by my opponents is not how you would typically beat someone building a big house in this format. It really struggles. I'm glad Posty tried this so that I never have to. It looked entertaining for a while, and then you have 20 food floating and not enough actions. Yeah. You might think it's crazy that the person with 28 actions had the most time, but having plenty of experience with low action games, personally, I can tell you you need to really make those actions count, so taking longer is sensible. Yeah, Glutton. Well, the thing is, Garden Designer is Glutton, but better. Like, way, way better. So. Alright, glad we got the game. Glad we got a nice win. Though, you know, not the most surprising outcome after a certain point, despite how CW Gordon 7 feels. Thanks all very much for watching. I expect to be back tomorrow, starting as recently usual, an hour or two late on Friday. Hope to see you then, or at a future stream. I did mean to get the Ox tier list on YouTube yesterday, but because I had the power outage, which separated my stream into two, on top of that, the Twitch VOD is just screwed up in export to where the audio gets desynced with the video at like 3 separate times. So I had to like test if exporting the VOD differently did anything, and it took me like 4 hours to figure out that nothing changed on the export. So I have to do like considerable amounts of editing and cutting to make sure that the audio and video on that sync up for YouTube, which is really annoying, so it's going to come out when it comes out. But yeah. Can we do what Posty did as long as you have Field Doctor and Garden Designer? Still don't plow fields. The last 3 or 4 of them, because you really need the fencing and capacity sooner also. But yeah, having the extra action is mandatory, and having bonus points like Garden Designer also kind of mandatory. But yeah, I would say Field Doctor, Garden Designer, do a little less steam plowing, collect more animals, you can do that. Yeah, you're welcome, Washed Up. Take care, everyone. See ya. Bye.